Well, tier 11 heavy tanks. We have come this far. Giggity with a Super Griffin, a Super Canopener, IS-7M. It's not a thing, but kinda looks like this vehicle, by the way. This has a better side armor profile. It's a V-shaped hull, not a flat one, but easily strap a 130 into the turret. That could be a tier 10. This vehicle actually debuted on the Chinese server, I believe, or Asian server too, but we don't have it. A obese MBT-70, and that's a Halo-ass looking vehicle if I've ever seen one. A Covenant heavy tank, especially the turret, mostly the turret. A Type 85-2 or -3, which is a modified Type 80, which is a modified Type 79, 69, 59, which is a T-54 on steroid practically. And the Taschenratte, a rounded mouse on the hull front, on the turret cheeks, but definitely not as cool as a mouse and Kunik. No, it's not even as cool as this thing. This thing is cool. That actually looks like somewhat of a rat, right? Rat has 2 barrels. Taschenratte, meh. Alright, fine, let's take a look. Already yammered and yapped way too long. So let's speed this up a little bit for copyright, mostly.
Soon, 16 Tier 11 vehicles will storm the battlefield. Ready to learn more about them? In this 3-video series, we'll introduce you to a light scout, tank destroyers, medium tanks, and of course, powerful heavies. Let's start with the latter.
Big font.
The super heavy Taschenratte is the direct successor to the mouse. It's also big, slow, and durable. Extremely durable.
That pin, by the way. One shell pin.
The Rat has formidable all-around armor and the biggest HP pool in the game. No one holds the flank more reliably than...
Alright, it's a 128 or so modified, so about a little bit more alpha than the 128 on the mouse. Hull armor is not even 200, but okay. It is slightly better slope and rounded, but it's not 200. Side armor's thick. Almost 200. And 250 for the turret cheeks at a better angle than the rounded mouse turret front, but 8 degrees gun depression. Reload time is mediocre. Aim time is relatively quick. Accuracy mediocre. Top speed is just 500 more health than the actual mouse. Not too crazy, right? Just a slightly modified mouse with a bigger health pool. A little bit. Have to see the actual armor, but the mouse has 200mm slope hull front. This has a better rounding, but slightly less thick.
The Taschenratte. Survivability isn't the new tank's only strong suit. Besides its main gun, it can fire from 2 additional guns as well. With the press of a separate key, the additional guns unleash a salvo of high explosive shells. This can come in handy for destroying tracks, finishing enemies off, or just surprising them. All this makes the Taschenratte the ultimate super heavy. The German rodent soaks up damage, then hits back hard. It blows minds from the very first battle, then keeps doing it even more effectively. The progression exclusive to each Tier 11 vehicle improves both its characteristics and its special mechanic. Fully upgraded, and you'll unlock customization elements available only for Tier 11 vehicles. Next charging into battle is the KR-1. This is a heavy breakthrough tank with a straightforward personality. It's even tougher and faster.
Alright, IS-7M practically, but hull front, pike shape 180, not bad. I mean, with the sloping, IS-7 is about 150. And that's a very good hull front, by the way. It's a very strong pike front, but 19 horsepower, 7 degrees for a Russian is not bad for a heavy tank. Also looks like a 130-ish, but just also like with the Taschenratte, a little bit more alpha. 2,800 health compared to like 2,500 on the IS-7, if I remember correctly. Also the same top speed, which is good, but accuracy just lacking. Accuracy is lacking. Aim time is also, fine, but yeah, accuracy is definitely subpar in my opinion. It could be like 0.37 or 3.8, but it's a very close range vehicle. Very close range. We don't have all the models and actual stats. I hate going with this without the common test. Side armor's thick though, if we're also including the space armor, supposedly. For 170, that's pretty good. For Russian, that's not a KV Fortress or IS-4, that's pretty good. But bottom plate, possibly the actual main weak spot. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the stats are not too crazy if you're thinking about it, right? This could be a very, very strong tier 10, just without the HP. But yeah, this could easily be a tier 10, just nerf the health a little bit, and without the special ability, yeah, possibly, but...
Faster than its predecessors. The KR-1 is built to attack, and its special feature fits the role perfectly. This tank deals increased damage when ramming. No extra buttons needed, it always works.
50% health on a Super Conqueror is... That's a Super Conk, right? Or just a regular Conk? That's a regular Conk. That looks like a regular Conqueror, but that's still like 1000 HP, right? The downside to ramming has always been you can only ram a single target. You cannot just YOLO rush into like a group of 5 or 3. Yeah, you could kill one target easily. The other two will shoot at you. So ramming is a very niche situational usage of a damage dealing, right? If you're already at close range, might as well just shoot, right? You don't have to ram. You're exposing yourself without cover into enemy, well, unless you destroy the target that you're destroying and getting cover from that. But ramming is very niche in my opinion, but that looks like a Conqueror instead of a Super Conqueror, mostly the cupola. And there's no space armor on the hull front. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Most of the time, the KR-1 fights the conventional way and does it well. But when the opportunity arises, it causes damage by ramming. And ramming again. More damage from the god of damage. It sounds simple, and it plays simply. All you need to do is pick a moment and accelerate. Use the mechanic wisely for some explosive thrills. In every other way, the KR-1 is a reliable, dynamic breakthrough vehicle. Its special mechanic only reinforces its role in battle, being at the forefront of the attack.
So you definitely want the driver skill with the control impact perk, but this one's available all the time, so there's no activation like with the auxiliary guns on the Taschenratte or any of the other ones, I believe, but just have it all the time. So you get a boost to your ramming damage, but like I said, ramming is very niche. Just don't get close to this thing, right? Or don't let him speed up or accelerate. Just keep him pinned down or something. I don't know, but yeah, okay, fine. I mean, IS-7 ram is very good because of the top speed, so don't let this thing rev up, but just go with a group of people, right? He can ram one of you. The rest of them will finish him off, but we'll see.
The T-803 also loves being on the front line. With its armor, good speed, and gun depression, it can be trusted with any...
Alright, 420 Alpha, blaze it. Gun depression 10, it's a little bit better than the E5 at 8. Hull front 215, it's rounded. Turret front is also 215, but looks like space armor. Cupola is also kind of big. 9 seconds of reload. It's not too crazy. It's fine, but not too crazy. I will be if it's like 7 seconds of reload, that's crazy. Aim time is relatively quick. Accuracy, American. Just a little bit more health than the E5, but like 100 or 200. It's about 100 or so. Top speed is not crazy compared to the Russian. of course, to the IS-7, but I mean, you do have slightly better pin, about 17 more millimeters of pin or so. It's like the Leopard 1 Alpha, right? Except for the 120, supposedly. But it should be about this thing, the rammer icon for the special ability.
Task, but it's best to play aggressively, because that makes it even more dangerous right in the heat of battle. The T803 is equipped with a semi-automatic ammo rack that builds up a temporary bonus to rate of fire with each successful hit. Hit enemy vehicles to be able to reload faster. The bonus gradually decreases, so to maximize your damage per minute, you'll need to fire, fire, fire. To push its characteristics to the limit, you need to keep fighting and surviving in the eye of the storm. And the T803 can do just that. But even the most versatile heavies need...
So basically, it's like the Onslaught perk for versatile heavy tanks, where you get a rate of fire bonus if you manage to pin your shots on different targets. If you already play Onslaught, you know about this on the Super Conqueror, on the E5. All versatile have it on the Type 71. If you manage to pin your shots, you get a rate of fire bonus. This is exactly what it is, but there's also a cooldown. Whereas on the Onslaught, it doesn't have a cooldown. But how dramatic could that be effect? Unless it gives you like double the rate of fire, which is nuts, right? So this thing has to be constantly poking up and down, exposing the cupola. The cupola looks also pretty massive from this angle. It's like an E5 practically, but you have to wiggle about the turret. So play similarly to the E5, but better gun depression. And obviously better alpha damage. Or whatever. Okay. Not too crazy, right? You can still kill this thing. It doesn't have the crazy side armor of a IS-7M or something.
They need the AMX-67 Imbattable, which is ready to unleash a steel storm on the enemy. This tank has shedded excess armor to ensure its firepower.
So 80 hull front, 140 turret front. It doesn't have the hull trollness of the AMX-50B. Reloads at 30 seconds for the ammo rack for 4 rounds of supposedly 120 or so. But same 420 alpha blaze it. More health. Definitely more health by like 200 or 300 compared to the 50B. About the same top speed if I remember correctly. Aim time and... There's no gun depression? Don't show me the gun depression on this thing? But seems okay. I mean, not too crazy. It's always about the special ability then. Yeah, not too crazy. Definitely not too crazy with the stats. Just slightly better than a tier 10, right? Slightly, but it's not like super much better.
Power is always in the right place at the right time. It gets close to the opponent in the blink of an eye, and then shows its mechanic. The Imbattable's unique mechanic lets it reload not only with an empty drum, but also if there's at least one shell left in the magazine. This kind of reload is considered partial, so it takes less time. The remaining shell will be ready to fire even while reloading. This mechanic allows the tank to stay dangerous and maintain its potential damage per minute. If you fire this reserve shell, the magazine reload won't reset. It will just take a few seconds longer. With this,
it only applies to one shell left. It's not like you can fire just one round out of the autoloader and just have it reloading, right? It's not like the auto reloader. It only applies to the last shell available in your clip. So it's like a auto reloader on a gimmick. Yeah, kind of like an auto reloader on the gimmick, but I mean, you cannot shoot yourself with the last shell. Like with the Lion. Yeah, it's like the Lion, by the way. The Italian tier 10. The last shell reloads the longest, whereas the second round reloads the fastest for the auto reloader. Just slightly different. I mean, the more... It's not like you can just fire one round and have the last shell starting to reload, right? That's an auto reloader, but whatever. Okay.
This mechanic allows... Sometimes experienced adapts to the situation. Fire away 3 shells and load them faster, or use all 4. It's always your choice. Sometimes experienced tankers can use the mechanic to dish out a whole 5 shells in a row, even when they only have 4 in the magazine. Curious? Then research the Imbattable. Long live the king of British heavies. The FV230 Contriver is even more impressive than the can opener. It's sturdy, especially in positional play. It's
Alright, 130 hull front. It is sloped, but we still have to see the actual armor. 370 turret front. Kind of looks like the Mark 1 Centurion machine gun boob on the turret. Oh, okay. That might be a weak spot, but possibly not. 10 degrees gun depression, 20 elevation. The same mechanics with the can opener practically. Health is 300 more than the can opener? It's not too much, but it's 450 alpha compared to 420 mostly. Has the same animation thing with the gun barrel opening up, similar to the can openers, but you get a mobility hit in the siege mode, in the salvo mode of the double shot, so it plays the same like any other British, but I believe there's no spare track system. Like with the Russians that did it on the Object 279 early for 4 quad tracks. So you get one track blown off, you can still move. But I doubt they're doing that, right? They don't have the incentive to do that. They don't have the capacity to do that. So, I mean, it's the same reload time about as with the can opener. You just deal 50 more damage or so. Yeah, a little bit more health. But 110 side armor for a ally vehicle is not bad. Usually it's like 76 or something, like 2.5 inches, 3 inches of armor.
Precise, punctual, and boasts excellent British gun depression. And as you've probably noticed, the Contriver is also double-barreled. The can opener branch's mechanic is highly effective and offers everything you need to succeed, so the Contriver has inherited it without any changes. It's not just 2 fire modes, it's more like 2 different playstyles. When one barrel is closed, the vehicle is agile and accurate, but when it opens, the Contriver does this. Precise single shots and thunderous salvos. Everything we love the can opener for is even better in the Contriver.
It's not like you get a better accuracy, right? And dispersion in the double shot mode is garbage. The worst in the game. Actually, the accuracy is the worst in the game, but while dispersion while moving has practically no effect. So the best dispersion while traversing with the base crappy accuracy. That's what I'm trying to say, but in comparison to the other vehicles, especially the XM803 thing, it's just a normal mechanic you found on tier 10s. Imagine the E5 with the salvo, just rapid fire machine gun thing. Or imagine the T32 with that thing. That would be crazy, but no. So, kind of meh. I mean, you already have this ability on tier 10, right? It's not a special mechanic, technically. Okay, whatever.
The BC-79 is full of surprises. Real surprises. It's a breakthrough heavy tank that strikes a balance between armor and mobility. It's a jack of all trades, and a master at most of them too.
Master of garbage accuracy, that's what it is. 17 seconds. Oh, it's a big gun. It's a big gun. It's a 700 alpha gun. But still, 17 seconds for a tier 11. Yeah. 150 hull front, 120 side armor. Side armor is not bad. Usually it's like at least 100 or so for Russian/Chinese-esque derivative. Space armor supposedly on the turret front or turret cheeks. Kinda from this angle, but it's very thick. Shoot the cupola as always. 290 health for a breakthrough heavy, somewhat. With rockets, that's not bad. Just the top speed is kind of crap, right? And accuracy is kind of crap. It's a big alpha gun. I'm not seeing crazy DPM with tier 11s, which is a good thing, right? If this thing has the same reload time as a NC70, like 11 seconds for 700 alpha, yeah, that would be questionable. That would be like, holy crap, this is good. But no, it's like about the average of 17 seconds, similar to like a 60 TP or something like that, right? Just let me double make sure so I don't look like a jackass. Or it's a 60 TP. They nerfed it too with the big alpha gun. 60 Polish. There it is. Yeah, 17 seconds with the rammer. About the same, right? So DPM is not too crazy. It's not like the same with the NC70 or even a tank destroyer. Like big alpha gun tank destroyer with like 14 seconds of reload. Yeah, you're not like 13 seconds or 12 seconds on. I don't even have the NC70, by the way. Crap. I already have the tier 9. But tier 9 reloads at 11 seconds. 11.5. And that's a scary DPM. The downside to it is obviously the mechanic for close range, more alpha, but yeah, it's not too crazy with the DPM. I mean, it has the health, right, to compensate, but base accuracy still. I mean, even the 𝗵𝗧'𝗶𝗵𝗿 has better accuracy than 0.41, right? That is crap. When you think about it, that is real bad for a tier 11. 0.38. I don't even have the gunner sights. 15 seconds of reload for 650 alpha. Provided I have the rammer, but that feels about the same as your 𝗵𝗧'79, by the way. Base accuracy is... It's just 0.01 better than the 𝗵𝗧'75. Oh boy. I mean, this also has a field mod. I think I field modded it with better accuracy. Yeah, I field modded. So provided you get better accuracy from upgrading tier 11s, but base accuracy is still kind of crap. So yeah, not too crazy. Not too crazy. I mean, it should be... No, top speed is still kind of meh. Originally, the 𝗵𝗧'72 has the same mobility as a 5A, except this thing has rockets. So with a 130. But this thing has the original mobility of an IS-7 or 5A with top speed about 50-ish kilometers per hour without the rockets. They nerfed it to hell for this vehicle, but okay. Not too crazy, not too crazy.
The tank reliably blocks damage with its turret, hull, and also blurs the lines between a tank and a rocket.
Oh, Jesus.
The 𝗵𝗧'79 has swapped solid fuel boosters for more practical liquid fuel. Instead of a certain number of charges, it now has one overheat bar. Press X to accelerate for exactly as many seconds as you need. Nice and convenient. You can spend the entire bar at the start of the battle, because the booster cools down over time. This takes place right in battle. So whenever you want to speed up again, you can fire it up.
That is so much better than booster counts or charges. You just have the booster all the time. That's so much better than a 6 charges 𝗵𝗧'75. But then again, you have to survive long enough. But there's no limit to your booster charge. Practically. That's very good. You just have to wait for a cooldown. Whereas you can just boost, wait like a few seconds and boost again, right? But there's a limit to that, so... I mean, you already seen this mechanic. It's nothing new, but the cooldown is the new part. You have to survive long enough to use it again, but I think this will definitely be more effective. You can use it more frequently than the number of charges. Alright. I don't think it breaks the game, but it just makes you wonder, like... Just... Does it really break the game, or does it make it unfair advantage for a tier 11, right? So they basically can some of the stats in favor of special ability to balance them out, quote unquote, but eh.
Combined with its characteristics, the new boosters make the 𝗵𝗧'79 pinnacle of the jet heavies. Finally, there's the Black Rock, the main reward of the 3rd Personal Missions campaign. A vehicle that will command respect.
You already saw this from the personal mission thing. I already have the personal mission points laid out. Already calculated all the points, but this is basically Super Griffin. The special gimmick is that after you fire 2 rounds that hit, you get 1 for free. So it'll fire a double shot for free, similar to a MBTB in a sense, but you don't have to wait for the reload of the gun. And the only downside to it is if you spam too much and you run out of shells, right? So there's no, well, I don't think there's a versatility to having the double shot uncontrolled. So if you already have the double shot ready, but you're shooting at a 300 health target, it's kind of wasted, right? So I don't know if it's that good. I mean, unless you control the double shot, fine. You can have it in reserve, ready. But that's what the Griffin is, in a sense. Alright, 430 alpha, a little bit higher than the 420. Accuracy is not bad for a gimmick of a gun, but 10.5 seconds to reload, 8 degrees gun depression, rounded 170. It's not as well sloped. It's mostly about the turret, which concept 1B-esque of a turret. But yeah, it's all about the gimmick with the ability again.
The tank's characteristics match its prestige. It's got everything you could need in battle.
Also, a small fun fact before I unpause it. It's more prominent with the sponson machine gun on the side of the turret. So this might be a weak spot, shoot the side of the turret. The concept 1B doesn't have it. Also, we talk about the mushroom on top of the Griffin. This also looks like a bigger mushroom. Which is, you know, the sloping on the Griffin's turret is just a few degrees less than the actual concept 1B. And that makes a big difference. Also the driver hatch, but yeah, this little mushroom, the sloping behind it is actually not as good as a concept 1B. Funny enough, we already talked a lot about it too, but the Griffin is more like a medium tank in this scenario, whereas the concept 1B, you can play it confidently like a heavy tank. So also we mentioned, did I mention? But the turret cheeks are not as strong on the actual bottom of the mantlet. It is improved on the concept 1B because of the driver hatch. The driver hatch actually blocks the weak mantlet underneath armor, whereas on the Griffin it doesn't. The Griffin doesn't have the elevated driver hatch to protect the bottom of the mantlet. Funny enough, small detail you know about this game. So it doesn't have the driver hatch protecting the bottom of the mantlet. I'll show you, Jesus. The bottom of the mantlet is like 250, 220-ish, right here. Or I look stupid. There is a strip that right there, 240-ish. It's a very hard target, but yeah, it's blocked by the driver hatch. So you have to play this vehicle hold down. You see this? It's 250 on the mushroom, whereas normally on the concept 1B it's like 260 or something like that. So small detail, but we're talking about different vehicles here. We're not even talking about the 𝗏𝗏𝗏. We're talking about vehicles already in the game. And armor, oh yeah, they want to emphasize, yeah, armor, we have better armor thing. You already have it with mods. Yeah, it's about 5 to 6 or 260-ish, so about 10 more millimeters of a sloping armor. So that's just a few degrees, like 1 or 2 degrees of difference. That is crazy. So this is big. I'm worried about this thing, the sponson machine gun jutting out from the side of the turret, and the bigger mushroom on top of the turret. So the periscopes in the machine gun doesn't count. Fine, whatever.
And then some more. The 𝗏𝗏𝗏 fires single shells like every other vehicle, but after 2 penetrations, it loads a cassette with 2 shells that it fires in quick succession. The reload time for the cassette is the same as for a single shell. 2 shots at the speed of 1. This unique mechanic makes the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 one of a kind. It'll be waiting for the very best commanders in Sector 3. The new update is just days away. Soon, you'll be able to lead attacks in the new tier heavy tanks.
Okay. So overall, the best mechanic out of all of them, I think, is possibly the MBT. About the MBT 70. It's possibly the most consistent out of all the abilities, right? The Canopener is the same ability. There's no change, right? Auxiliary guns is useful for like light tanks or circle strafing 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s, but you have to actually work with different accuracy, I believe. So yeah, the best mechanic out of all of them, I feel that's more consistent, is the XM 801 or 803, but they already have the upgrade path. So I already saw this with the nodes, sphere grid, in a sense. Update. Play too much Final Fantasy. It's also like any other like RPG-esque of an upgrade path, right? Like guns for Dead Space or The Witcher, in a sense. But Taschenratte, you already saw. They don't show you the actual firepower of the auxiliary guns. Supposedly 75, the twin 75s. They are supposed to be firing high explosives, but okay, they don't show you that. 70 rounds. Concealment. Actually, to give you some of the stats, you have garbage camo. at least the actual stuff is practically the same backbone, right? The stats backbone is practically the same, just the UI change. And they're still going with it. Okay. 10 horsepower per ton ratio, okay. But 70 rounds. Yeah, it's just basically a modified rat. Or a bit modified mouse in the Taschenratte. Not too crazy. KR1. 35 rounds. I mean, it is 540 alpha. 7 degrees gun depression. No camo whatsoever. whatsoever. It's funny how some of the IS-7s have about 7 or 6% camo. This doesn't do. It's more like a super heavy at this point. Mobility, 19 horsepower per ton ratio is with 60, not bad. It's like the IS-7 too, so definitely very strong engine. Just more health now. All right. Yeah, the ability, I think. What? Oh, this is the upgraded. Non-upgraded has less alpha damage. Okay, crap. Yeah, the most consistent is the rapid fire boost for the gun. 56 rounds, 9 seconds reload. That feels low when you think about it. 9 seconds compared to an E5. E5 is like 8 seconds or something like that. 9 seconds feels kind of crap. No, 7 seconds with the rammer, of course. That's not really that good when you think about it. Base reload is 8.8 on the 120 on the E5. You're telling me that... I mean, you're telling me with a 100% crew, this is about the same reload time as a E5. Just a little bit more alpha, fine. But whatever. God, Jesus. That sucks. I would expect like 8 seconds of reload on this thing without the rammer. Oh, okay. There's downside to having the rapid fire mode. You have to wait for the rapid fire thing. So you have to land your shots, which means gold shell spam, which means you are not solving the gold shell problem, you piece of craps. It does have 18 horsepower per ton. Top speed could be better, like 50, right? The top speed on the E5 is only like at max 40. It's not that good. Yeah, it's not even that good. I don't even have the driver skill yet. I have the field mods, I think. For better, no, there's no top speed for versatile. Fine, whatever. But it doesn't feel that crazy, right? Compared to an E5, no. The only separation is more health and the gimmick with the special ability, and that's it. The E5 has the same reload time, practically. Okay, moving on. Imbattable compared to the 50B. Less armor, definitely, especially for the hull. So you cannot throw shots into the upper plate. But 64 rounds. It's 4-round clip, right? 4-round clip, 9 degrees gun depression. Yeah, nothing too crazy. The only upside is the gimmicky auto reloader-esque of the shell reloading thing, but it makes him more versatile. But I don't think it's as versatile as a auto reloader. Then again, it is an autoloader. So, yeah, okay, fine. And there's no special ability. It's new salvo fire mode. It's not new for the super can opener. That's a 50B, right? Successor? Yeah, 50B. I didn't even watch that. Whatever. Yeah. Reload time for this beast is 10 seconds. That's about the same as a can opener. You just have more alpha damage by 50. Yeah, you just have more alpha damage. Actually, can opener has 420. Just 30 more alpha damage. With about the same reload time. Yeah, 420. 10 seconds of reload. I have the crew with Brothers in Arms. That's why it's faster than, but still 10 seconds. It's about the same. So you're just basically telling me it's the same reload time as a can opener, just a little bit more alpha damage. Okay. Yeah, that's a 10-second reload. That's the same as a can opener, right? Without the 100% crew and Brothers in Arms. Yeah. Just more hit points, a little bit better armor, but it's practically just same firepower. 13.3, that's also about the same. Can opener is about 14? I know the Super Conch is surprisingly mobile. About 14. 14 with... actually 15 with turbocharger. It's about the same mobility too. So, yeah, okay. You just have more shit to do. More stuff to grind. Out of all of them, 𝗶𝗲𝗶𝗿. The rocket change is actually interesting. You can constantly use the rockets, but you have to survive long enough, right? 35 rounds. It is a big caliber gun, granted. So it plays very much in line with a 𝗵𝗲75, just smaller body and better cupola design than the large cupolas on top of the 𝗵𝗲75. So 13.1 horsepower per ton and 32. The 𝗵𝗲 is not that fast. No, I don't think it's that fast, but I really like the tier 9 version, not the tier 10, simply because the cupola is massive. Let's see. Yeah, about a little bit better horsepower per ton, but not much. And definitely better cupola on top, but yeah, the reload time for the alpha damage, 17 seconds for 700 alpha is about the same as rammer with 650. Yeah, the reload time is so not too crazy. The Black Rock. The downside to this vehicle is the ammunition count. If you spam too much or just shoot at target, 60 rounds is not bad. So you are forgiven for jamming 2 shells into a low health target, like a 300 health, 400 health target. You're jamming and wasting the salvo when you need it to kill the target immediately. That's fine. So yeah, if this thing has like 40 rounds or 35, similarly to the FV230 then we have a problem. We really have a problem. So 60 rounds is still not bad. I would like to see like 80-ish rounds or possibly 100, similar to the can opener, by the way. Can opener has a lot of ammo for the 120. I remember it has lots of ammo. Yeah, it has lots of ammo. 80 rounds on the can opener. So you are still warned against spamming too much or jamming the 2 rounds into stuff you're trying to kill for low health. But 60 is a lot better than 60 is so much better than this piece of crap. We already covered this too. This thing has 35. This has no ammo. So don't spam too much. Alright, there you go, folks. We'll talk about medium tanks, but they don't give us the stats. They don't give us the preview. So the vehicles are not available. The downside to without having common tests is I cannot give you guys content on the day of, or note the content of the actual stats. But for now, okay. I mean, it's not too crazy. The upside of tier 11s against like tier 9s or tier 10s is that tier 11s are not too crazy with all the stats, right? You saw the reload time of all the guns practically about the same as tier 10s. Just a little bit more alpha. So don't expect like a NC70 reload on a 700 alpha gun for a BZ79. That's not the case, right? That's definitely not the case. They only have a few gimmicks that make them really strong in some scenarios, like niche scenarios. But you have to be careful about their ability. So it's like with any MOBA, I guess, or hero shooter. Just the best upside to all these vehicles is you play with a teammate, right? They cannot just solo you out. Yeah, you can ram somebody with the KR1 into a group of like 5 people. That's fun. You can ram somebody with the BZ79. You can kill one target, but the rest of them will kill you in the time being. So the most consistent, I feel, and useful ability is either the Taschenratte with the auxiliary guns, or with the MBT-70-esque, or the XM803. Those two are the most consistent, I feel, in terms of ability. Auto reloader thing, meh. Rockets, it's useful. It's more useful than ramming, I feel, unless you're in a tight corner like Mountain Pass or something, right? With this thing charging at you, or you're fudged. But in an open field map like Pokrovka, you can easily juke the crap out of out of them charging at you, right? With your teammates sniping from behind. But they don't give us the actual armor profile, so the most letdown is this thing, the Super Canopener. You have the same mechanic as a tier 10, tier 8, tier 9, tier 7 too. So, but yeah, the most consistent one I feel for heavy tanks is likely the American for damage dealing. But then again, it's the same reload time as an E5, so you're all right. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Holy crap, 42 minutes! Yapping to myself for 42 minutes. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.